the optimal wildcard team for FPL Gameweek 7? Well, it's a question I'm going to answer using the latest form versus fixture charts. And remember, it was these charts that led me to double up on the Chelsea attack with Palmer and Jackson on my own wildcard last week. Help me get this one to 500 likes and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Let's get into it. Starting off with the latest form charts then, and Arsenal and Manchester City both drop out of the top three this week, but they're not far away from Liverpool in third place. Remember that these two sides met each other in game week 5, which certainly hindered their output over this run of games. In second place, it's Chelsea, who have been scoring plenty of goals in the last 2 weeks. We're beginning to see an improvement in their form. Definitely a team on the rise and one to target. But taking top spot this week, having really capitalised on a great run of fixtures, it's Aston Villa. Moving on to the latest fixture charts then, and these are taken from Fantasy Football Hub, looking at the next 4 game weeks and the fixture values for attack. You can get these with a 7-day free trial yourself using the link in the description to this video. We've seen some changes here in terms of the fixtures. We've got teams that there's not a lot to separate them other than Bournemouth, who are way off the bottom, with Leicester away, then Arsenal at home, Aston Villa away, and Manchester City at home. That's why I avoided going with Semenyo last time out. But if we have a look at what's happening at the other end of the chart, and in joint third, we've got Everton and West Ham. Both of these teams have got some attractive games, including meeting Ipswich in the next game weeks, respectively. In second place, we've got Leicester, who've got Bournemouth at home, Southampton away, Forest at home, and Ipswich away. So the other 2 promoted teams in there, plus a couple of nice home games. They're a team that maybe we need to start considering. But out in front this time, it's Brentford, who have got Wolves at home, followed by Manchester United away, Ipswich at home, and Fulham away. This is why Brian Mbeumo has been such a popular pick in FPL. Looking at the overall chart here then, Liverpool dropped down. Given that Wolves game has now gone from their fixture list, it's now not the time to target them. Now, Arsenal do just miss out on a top 3 spot. There is a bit of a gap from them to the likes of Everton, Liverpool, Brentford and Spurs. But not far ahead of them is Manchester City, who dropped from first to third. And that gets me thinking, do we need to worry about having lots of Man City assets in our team right now? Or is Haaland enough at the moment? In second place, we've got Chelsea into the top 3. They were 4th last week, so that's a significant rise, and it makes you think that maybe we need to be capitalising and getting lots of Chelsea players in our teams. But in top spot this week, with a great ranking for form and a pretty good ranking for fixtures over the next 4 game weeks as well, it's Aston Villa. Putting all of that together then, where should you be going on wildcard? Well, bearing in mind that we've got Aston Villa, Chelsea and Manchester City in the top 3, with Arsenal not far behind, there's 4 key players that I think are really important on wildcard. Obviously, Haaland has to be a must, and I consider Saka in there as well to capitalise on certainly a very good fixture in game week 7. I think he's the talisman of the side. He's fixture proof, so we don't need to worry when Arsenal's fixtures get a little bit tougher. Cole Palmer, the fact that Chelsea are second in the charts now, you cannot ignore Cole Palmer. Remember, he gets the midweeks off as well because he's not in the Europa Conference League squad either. And the one player that I didn't go for on wildcard last week, and I could have done, and I'm really kicking myself for not going there, I could obviously get him in this week into my own team with a hit, is Aston Villa's Ollie Watkins. Villa top of the charts. I think you really need to take note, given Watkins' form, that he's a really, really great pick in the game right now. And it is possible to build a strong team with those 4 players in, despite them taking up a significant amount of the budget. Now, given that Aston Villa are top of the charts, I don't think there's any harm in tripling up. Morgan Rogers, again, looks to be a great budget enabler in the game, so I would look to include him in a wildcard team or in an FPL team if you've already used the wildcard or don't want to play it yet. And Ezri Konsa still looks like a great route into the Aston Villa defence, especially when he's playing fullback at the moment, although Cash could come back in soon. I'd also look to triple up on Chelsea assets. Now, couldn't quite get to Jackson in this draft, but I still think that he is a good pick. But Jadon Sancho has really started his time at Chelsea well. He looks like he's nailed on for starts in the Premier League, just 6.4 million. And I would look at Colwill as the best route into the Chelsea defence at the moment as well. He's playing in that fullback role, and I don't think it'll be long until you see him a little bit more involved in their attacking play. I would only go for 2 from Manchester City, and with Haaland hogging so much of the budget, there's only room for Rico Lewis here in the defence. Remember, he can play out of position as an 8. I think in City's easier games, they will go with Lewis and Vardiol as the fullbacks, and because they'll have a lot more possession, certainly in home games, Lewis will just push up into the midfield. I'm really excited to see what he can do from that advanced position. I'd also look to go for double Arsenal defence. Obviously, no room for Havertz here on the budget. Yeah, you could maybe squeeze in a Martinelli or a Trossard in that Sancho role, but I think going Gabriel and Raya is equally as attractive. Raya still looks to be the best goalkeeper and worth his premium price tag, and with Gabriel you get that attacking threat as well as the consistency of clean sheets. Now, it was Everton who was 5th in the chart along with Liverpool. There's no room for Liverpool players in this draft, they're too expensive, but I have included Calvert-Lewin as the 11th man in the side. You'll notice that there were 4 defenders that are all starters each week, but when you pick Lewis, you need a 4th defender that's guaranteed minutes. I'm also squeezing in Mykolenko. I'm using every single ounce of my team value and budget here. If you can't get to Mykolenko in your own draft, then pick a 4 million defender like Van den Berg. And then the cheap slots, we've got Dibbling as the 4.5 million midfielder and Fabianski as the 4 million goalkeeper here as well. You'll notice no Mbermo, with Brentford only 8th in the list. He didn't quite fit into this team, but if you did drop Sancho, you could get Mbermo in there if you really wanted. No Chris Wood either, with Nottingham Forest slumping down the fixture difficulty rankings this week. I'm still encouraged about how similar this is to my own team right now that I wildcarded for last week. Just goes to show how effective these form versus fixture charts are. I could get Watkins though. I discussed it in my team selection video yesterday, and it is something that I'm still weighing up in my mind. Probably going to be one for after the international break though, with Manchester United at home to get through after a significant fixture in Europe this week as well. Now, if you found this video useful, let's get it to 500 likes and subscribe if you're enjoying my content. Let me know in the comments what moves this video has provoked, and check out the link to Fantasy Football Hub to get a 7-day free trial so that you can tinker with the fixture ticker yourself as well. Thank you for watching.